Hola guys and girls and welcome to my GBA team builder and battle for week 10. We are facing off against Gator and the Florida Gatrs, and the reason why I have both in one video this time is because if you follow my Twitter you already know that, but I was over at my parents' house over the weekend, and my laptop, which I planned to record both videos with at my parents' house with, had some issues and I wasn't able to record. So I am now back at my place, you can see from the background, and yeah, I'm a bit pressed for time. So I can't do two videos, I just have to do it both into one video. So if you're not here for the team builder or just for the battle, you just have to skip a few minutes ahead and the battle will be there. But for all other people, of course, here the standard team builder, and we are facing off against Gator. Very important match. He is one of our rivals in getting a playoff spot. Actually the closest rival, the one in front of us at the moment. So if we win, we would actually get the playoff spot from Gator. He's currently in front of us, we have the same record, but he has a better differential. So if we just win, we basically get ahead of him in the playoff race, and if we then win ahead with the other two games, we of course will make the playoffs. So very important match. If we give him a win, he will be one win ahead of us, and yeah, then I would have to win versus George, which of course is a bit difficult. I would have to win versus Tub, which is gonna get difficult. So yeah, and I would have to rely on Gator to lose as well. Basically, if I win right here, I have it in my hands to make playoffs, but if I lose in this week, basically I need other people to help me out to still make playoffs. There's still a possibility, but I can't make it on my own. Even if I win out, I might not make playoffs if I lose this game. So very important match regarding the playoff race. So yeah, let's go over Gator's team real quick. He got the Latios, which is the Z Captain, the Heatran, the Mamoswine, the Galvantula, the Pikumuku, Whimsicott, Ferrophone, Diggersby, Blastoise, the Doublade, and the Hawlucha. Very threatening team, like I say, basically all the time. This is a free draft, every team is threatening. That's the problem with the free draft, where you have like not so often used mons. But one weird thing this team has his speed tiers. His speed tiers are very interesting for a draft league player. Like I always focus on the speed tiers. That's like the first thing I do when I P-build. I look at the speed tiers my opponent has, and he has like very slow mons in Doublade and Ferrophone and Pikumuku, and then it goes up to Heatran. So I think Doublade is like 35. I think they make it up to Heatran 77, so huge gap there. Then Heatran Mamoswine, and then goes up there again. I think the next fastest mon is the what's it called? Not Diggersby, the what's it called? Whimsicott? Galvantula? I think Galvantula is the next fastest one. Basically, Mamoswine, we have like the bulk of Blastoise, Diggersby, Heatran, Mamoswine, and then we have the fast ones of this team. So in between Mamoswine and Galvantula, there's another huge gap in speed here. So that's something I want to take kind of advantage. No, that's just something I noticed. Of course, Latios, immense threat, very fast. Only my Tornades could theoretically outspeed it. Heatran, I can deal with that. He has 3 steel types, 3 of them. So Magiana will have a hard time going through his team, but you can see I still bring it, of course, because it's Magiana. And yeah, Hawlucha, of course, with Unburden, it outspeeds my whole team, even my Scarfers, and if he sets up, he has the pressure to run through my team. Hawlucha is very good versus offensive teams, and like you probably know, my team is more offensive orientated. Of course, I have some defense options, but it leans always more to offense, so I have to be prepared for the Hawlucha, and yeah. Yes, basically, Mamoswine, of course, huge threat to every team. It's basically his mascot, so he knows how to use it well. And yeah, Pikumuku, which I'm surprised is doing so well for him. Pikumuku is a very interesting mon because it doesn't do anything himself. Basically, what Pikumuku does, if it isn't setting off screens, is leaving a pivot. You switch it in, you baton passive like that, and get something else for free in. And it's very good at that. Like where Tornadoes is more of an offensive pivot, this is a very defensive pivot. You can keep switching it in and it will take hits. You can recover on the turn you will need to, and then you get a free switch into one of his threats, like the Latios, the Mamoswine, the Diggersby, the Hawlucha, mons which do not like to hard switch into moves. So, and Pikumuku grants from these 3 switches. So very, very interesting mon. I'm surprised on how well it did for him so far, and yeah, actually on how he's using it. But yeah. That's his team. Now going over my team. First mon you see right here is the set Magiana with Dazzling Gleam, Aerosphere, Calm Mind, and Trick Room. Yes, Trick Room once again with minus speed, 0 speed IVs. I still outspeed, outside Trick Room, his slow mons. I'm still faster than a Doublade, but I'm guaranteed slower than a no speed, minus speed nature Heatran. So Trick Room is basically only there for late game sweeping. His faster mons, or basically most of his mons, only stuff like Doublade, Ferrophone, and the Pikumuku. These are the 3 mons which will be faster than me in Trick Room, and that's actually a nice thing for me, because why do you see my moveset right here? Dazzling Gleam, Aura Sphere, and Calm Mind. Fighting Z. Aura Sphere is pretty self-explanatory. Hits the Heatran, hits the Ferrothorn with Fighting Z. It does a lot of damage. Dazzling Gleam, just my stab option this time. And then I have Calm Mind and not Shadow Ball right there. First I had, of course, Shadow Ball to hit the Doublade as well, which I think I can't touch with this set. Dazzling Gleam is resisted, Aura Sphere is immune to. But I have the Calm Mind there because I had to make a decision. Calm Mind helps a lot versus the Pyukumuku. If he wants to bring that in, I trick him up, and he is actually faster than me with baton passing, so I would actually hit the incoming mon, so the whole purpose of Pyukumuku would be gone, and if he tries to recover Storm me, I have the Calm Mind to set up on him. So this is basically there, so I'm weak versus the Doublade, but I'm strong versus the Pyukumuku. Like I said, I debated a lot if I want to run Shadow Ball or Calm Mind. Calm Mind is great for the one, Shadow Ball for the other. I had to make a decision, and looking at his past matches, he was using Pyukumuku way more often than Doublade. I think Doublade appeared once or twice throughout the season, whereas Pyukumuku appeared way more often, so I decided in the end to prepare more for Pyukumuku, like a Spadef Pyukumuku, be a switch into my Magiana, and then he can Baton Pass into stuff like his Heatran. Heatran, of course, doesn't like switching in on me with Aura Sphere and stuff like that, but if it's in on me, or the Latios and stuff like that, it'll finish the Earthquake, or the Mamoswine, Diggersby, two great ones which would just OHKO me with an Earthquake, even though Magiana is pretty bulky. So yeah, I'm more thinking he would bring Pyukumuku instead of Doublade, but if he has Doublade, I will have to play around that. I had to make the decision. I want to have the Trick Room. I could have just gone 3 attacks Calm Mind, for example, but then I wouldn't be able to outspeed his other teams, and yeah, if I get a basically +1 boost and I'm in Trick Room, it's basically over with Magiana over here, so that's why I got this one. Next up, we got Rotom Meme. Rotom Heat, Speedy Bulky with Overheat, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, and Pace Split. Pretty standard from the moveset wise, but the spread is very interesting. This is bulky enough to take some hits, of course, mainly physical hits, like from the Mamoswine. I resist ice moves, I am immune to his ground moves, and from the Diggersby, I'm immune to ground. It's a nice stop to a lot of his physical threats, but his physical threats are so strong, I wanted to have enough speed to outspeed them. I outspeed the Diggersby, I can outspeed the Mamoswine as well, and hit him up with an Overheat or Will-O-Wisp or something like that. I guarantee I'll outspeed them, barring one of them is Scarf. And because if I'm fully physically defensive and I don't outspeed them, they actually 2-hit KO me with moves like Mamoswine 2-hit KOs me with Stone Edge or Knock Off into Stone Edge, and Diggersby just 2-hit KOs me with Return potentially. It rocks up for sure. So I didn't want to run a fully physically defensive Rotom Heat because that just potentially gets bobbed. I want to have more like the thing can switch in and then flattens out because it's faster. He may be surprised by the set if he does his Calc, he's bulky, and then he may stay in. I can kill him with an Overheat or get him burned with Will-O-Wisp on the turn. He might think he will outspeed me and can pick me off and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I have a speedy bulky Rotom Heat. They're mainly there for the Mamoswine and the not really the Diggersby, but I can switch on U-turns of Diggersby and stuff like that. Mainly there for the Mamoswine, of course, and it is, of course, nice versus team in general. I can't really touch the Heatran, but Heatran is not a big problem to my team. I have him on to switch into that every time on my team later on, and I can Volt Switch in that, of course, and I will outspeed the Heatran. But yeah, this is Rotom Heat, mainly there for the Mamoswine. Then we got Sweeble, the Celebi with an Assault Death set. 3 Rate, Earth Power, Hidden Power, Fire, and U-turn. Very, very great coverage for his team. He has so much things on his team, super effective. I definitely wanted to run an offensive Celebi. Same speed here. Basically, you see a lot of the same speeds on my mons because once I speed Mamoswine, I outspeed a lot of his team, barring the fast ones, like I mentioned, like the Wimbledon, Lucha, Latios. Why I have an Assault Death Celebi right here is because I want to have a better switch into Latios. And why you're asking why you want to switch to Latios? You have Magiana, which is like the perfect switch into Latios. You can take any hit from this and stuff like that, but that is exactly why I want to have another option to switch into Latios. With the Assaulters, I can take anything from HP Fire to Earthquake to Draco to Psyshock, and then U-turn on that, get another Mon 3 in. Because if he sees my Magiana, and he could just run, for example, Latios is Z Captain, so he could potentially run Z Earthquake or something like that. Magiana is a way too obvious switch into the Latios, and the first time I will probably switch in my Magiana, and I don't think he would burn the Z move on the first turn. But after that, I want to rather pivot out into my Celebi, taking a hit. Potentially, I can take the HP Fires if that is the preparation for the Celebi. I can take Earthquakes for Magiana, or Earthquakes if that is the preparation for the Magiana. Both with Celebi very easily, and then we can U-turn out. And in general, Earth Power great for Heatran, Hidden Power Fire great for the Ferrothorn, of course, and then Giga Drain for recovery. Natural Cure, of course, is my only ability. Maximize my special bolts so I can take the Dracos better, but that's basically the main reason that Sweeble is right here, because Magiana is like, the Magiana Latios matchup is way too obvious, and the main reason of League is, of course, to counter team your opponent, so he will definitely prepare for my Magiana on some kind of Latios if he decides to bring it, which I definitely see coming. Latios is a great mon to bring in most matches, and especially with me as well. Even though I have Magiana with a Z option, it's a threat to be reckoned with. But yeah, that's the Celebi. Next up, we got Cool Doggo, the Lucario with an Air Balloon, Close Combat, Earthquake, Extreme Speed, and Salt Stance. This thing has a great matchup versus team as well. Like, fighting ground coverage is very nice versus team. The only thing which really can take those hits are the Latios, it's fast moves in general, the Latios, the Hawlucha, and the Galvantula. They can take these hits very well, but they are decently frail, especially Hawlucha and Galvantula. Latios, of course, is a bit bulky, but that's why I have Extreme Speed there for these fast mons. With the Air Balloon, I basically have a free setup on Mamoswine. He has no move. Like, he could have Superpower, but there's no reason he would bring Superpower with my team. If I have an Air Balloon, I'm of course immune to the Earthquake, I resist his Ice Stabs, I resist Orkoff, I resist Stone Edge. All the coverage moves he would run on his Mamoswine, I resist with Lucario, so I basically have one turn of free setup versus the Mamoswine, or potentially versus the Digger Speed. If that goes for Earthquake, I resist, of course, the return as well. The only thing you could have to hit me is like Fire Punch, if you would want to run that, but that's not really a reason to bring versus me, because he has Earthquake for my Magiana, he has U-Turn for my Celebi, which both do more than Fire Punch, so I don't really see the reason of that. But yeah, that's an Air Balloon right there, which basically grants me a surprising switch into Mamoswine if I did not reveal the Air Balloon first or something like that, or a surprising switch into the Digger Speed if I didn't reveal it first, and I can get some setup going, or just fire off a strong Close Combat, Earthquake, Extreme Speed, whatever. But yeah, that's the Lucario. Next up, we get another setup on, actually, 3 setups on. It was the team with the Whimsicott. I hope Whimsicott is not there with Encore, but we will see about that. We got the Latias max speed, so we can potentially win a speed tie versus the Latios. I know I have HP Fire IVs on that, but like on the Celebi as well, they will be bottle capped. So I can actually speed tie with the Latios, barring he is a Scarfed one. Dragon Pulse, Hint Power, Fire, Calm Mind, and Recover. I first had Earthquake there for the Heatran, but this is going to be my switch into Heatran. My team does not like switching into Heatran. Rotom can do decently well, but it doesn't really do anything back, so that's why I have Latias right here. First I had Earthquake, but with Calm Mind, I can actually set up on the Heatran, barring he has Toxic. Like, no shape or form of Heatran can basically 1v1 this Latias with Calm Mind, barring he has Toxic. And I can just Calm Mind, recover, all this good stuff. If I have 2 Calm Minds up, I guarantee live, or even at 1 Calm Mind, I have a chance to live a Draco from a Life Up Latios, but if I have 2 Calm Minds up, I guarantee live a Draco from a Life Up Latios. Can get rid of that right away with the Dragon Pulse, Hint Power, Fire there, of course, there for all the other Steel types he has, barring Heatran. Heatran, I'm not feeling this because Heatran is basically the setup for this Latias. I will have to scout for Toxic though, which I will probably with my Celebi, switching that in, because he's not going for Fire move on my Latias, but we will see about that in the game. That's the Latias basically there. We must switch into Heatran, basically overall stop the Heatran. If he brings an offensive one, if it's a more defensive one, I can set up on that potentially even easier if he doesn't have Toxic, like I said, because I don't have a substitute. I want to have the Hidden Power Fire coverage for, like, basically all his defense, be it Doublade, be it the Ferrophone, and I hit the Whimsicott with it as well, which would be immune to my Dragon Stab if I have Dragon only. So, next up and last, we got Frank, the Donphan, offensive Donphan with Rocky Helmet, Earthquake, Ice Shot, Step, Rapid Spin. The coverage you see a lot of times onto my Donphans. I like it a lot. It only has one job most of the times. It's wearing things down with Rocky Helmet, and it will do once more here. I am offensive with Ice Shot because if I'm defensive, I'm still way too weak to the Hawlucha. If I'm fully Fist Death, Ice Trap does not do a lot of damage, and High Jumping does way too much damage to me, especially if it guards up an SD, so that's why I'm rather offensive. Still get Rocky Helmet damage on him with my Rocky Helmet, and do substantial damage with my Ice Shot versus him. Guaranteed break subs every time. I think do around 40% with an Ice Shot, so basically, if he gets one switch into Rocks, one round of Rocky Helmet, he is 2 KO by Ice Shot. That's why I'm running more of an offensive variant right here. Of course, still max HP to still take the hits even better, and then speed 12 there, just so he can speed creep me with one of his slower mons. And yeah, that's basically the reason for my offensive Donphan. Like I said, he does not like switching into Earthquake too much. His Earthquake resist is the Whimsicott, and his immunity is the Hawlucha and the Latios. Hawlucha and Latios do not like taking Ice Shots, of course, from a max attack Donphan, and the same goes for the Whimsicott. Every one of his ground resist is weak to ice, so if I would actually have the Mamoswine versus his team, that would be great. So yeah, offensive Donphan. I was thinking more of Rock Polish the first time around. I have this Donphan on my screen, but with so many setup mons I have already, I do not want to have too much setup, and I'd rather have a more just boom, hit hard, get rocks up, spin them away, all this good stuff, Donphan. But yeah, that is the team. I will now cut away to the match, and you can see how this team will perform. See you there. Here we are with the match versus Gator. Like you can see, he brought the Whimsicott, the Heatran, the Hawlucha, the Ferrophone, the Doublade, the Digger Speed. My team, you can just basically click a few minutes behind, then you can see all in detail what my team is all about. I'm not going all that right here, but of course these shoutouts, which I start off every battle with. Shout out once again to Berk and Jim for joining my team and recording my match. They were great help throughout the season, close to every week. They were able to help me out, so definitely give both of them some love from the Scizor crew. And yeah, that's basically all. Not too much to talk about it. I do not have the most time, and of course you already know what my team is all about, what the history about this match is. Yeah, very important match, playoff match. Let's look at his team. So, looking at his team, he brought all 3 steel types, the Doublade, the Ferrothorn, and the Heatran, so he's definitely prepared for the Magiana. He did not brought the Pyukumuku, so I'm very sad that I do not have Shadow Ball on my Magiana instead of Calm Minds, which I basically won't click with any of these mons because I don't really have setup opportunity versus these mons. Doublade 2-hit kills me with Iron Head, Hawlucha 2-hit kills me with High Jump Kick, Heatran kills me with Fire Move. Versus Ferrothorn, I could potentially set up. I probably set up on the Ferrothorn. The best thing you can do is like Leaf Seed or Bulldoze. I don't know. Diggersby I can't set up on, and Whimsicott I could set up on, but he most likely is Encore, so that's probably not the smartest idea. And yeah, other than that, looking at his team, he did not have the Mamoswine, so that's good. That means my Air Balloon for Lucario is of course only there basically for the Diggersby. That's the only thing really with ground coverage. He might have Earth Power on Heatran, but it doesn't really make sense. And yeah, Rotom Heat has a very nice matchup for this team. I outspeed his whole team, barring the Whimsicott and the Hawlucha. Hawlucha I of course threaten out with Volt Switch, Whimsicott I threaten out with Overheat, and yeah, the only real switch he has to my Rip Rotom is of course his Heatran, but yeah, I can just Volt Switch out into my Latias on that every time he comes in, or if I want to be more offensive, into my Lucario. But yeah, that's all for team matchup. Because Rotom Heat is such a good matchup, I'm actually leading off of it. It's insane how often I lead off of Rotom Heat. Like, my opponents may think I just always lead off of Rotom Heat because it's my standard lead, but every time I look at my team, I thought, oh yeah, Rotom Heat does a lot. It's this team, and this is the one mon it doesn't do a lot is the Heat, and I can just Volt Switch out. I'm faster than this, so I don't have to worry me hitting with something or something like that. But yeah, that's why I'm gonna lead with my Rotom Heat, and let's see what Gator decides to lead with. He is, of course, issuing a challenge in a few seconds. There he is, rocking the same shirt as me. I see you. We are challenged by Gator. It's just a default shirt. I never bothered with customizing my guy. But yeah, there's Rotom Meme, and he decides to lead with Rin, which turns out to be his Whimsicott. So great lead matchup. I don't fear anything from this thing basically. So I just Volt Switch out right here, hoping he's faster than me to get a slow Volt Switch, which he is indeed. So he has some speed investment, and he's from the U-turn, and from that damage I can tell he's, surprise, surprise, he's not a physical Whimsicott. But yeah. He's faster than me, so I can get a slow voltage here. He goes into his Heatran. I did not predict him to stay in there. There's no way he stayed in with Whimsicott versus my Rotom. He probably should an Overheat right there, but yeah, I can now decide to go into my Lucario, making the more offensive switch. It does reveal that I have the Air Balloon, but because he does not have the Mamoswine, it's not that important. Of course, it would be nice for the Diggersby, but I want to make an offensive switch right here because I can fire off an Earthquake right here. Nothing really on his team likes to take the hit. The only thing which resists that are the Whimsicott, which is not very bulky and does not like taking other hits, and the Hawlucha, which goes the same for that as well. It's not very that bulky. So I can fire off an Earthquake right here versus this Doublade, and this damage shows me this is, of course, an Violet one, and it is a max HP one. That I can tell from this damage, and I switch out right here into my Donphan. It's of course a great stop to this mon. Can actually get some Rocky Helmet damage on him with the Sacred Sword. I don't want my Air Balloon bobbed because if he's his choice, Diggersby, this balloon may come in clutch later. But he reads that switch out very nice with a double into his Whimsicott, and right here, I do, of course, do not want to stay in right here, do not want to take a Moonblast, a Grass Attack, whatever. I go right back into my Rotom, which can take any hit. This thing can take duels me, but he decides to go for the U-turn. So nice series of plays of his to get a free switch into his Heatran, you will see right here, to get his rocks up. Very nice played by Gator, getting the rocks up early. I of course will Volt Switch out right here. I am faster than this thing. Guaranteed, Byron he is Scarf, but from the damage from last time I already know that this is the Death Heatran, and right here he is showing the leftovers. Last time he already showed leftovers as well, but yeah, I know he's the Death Heatran from that damage, by the way, I didn't mention that. But yeah, I can Volt Switch right here, and he can like go for Toxic, go for Rocks. I'm predicting the Rocks right here, so I'm go hard switching into my Donphan, scaring out of the Earthquake and getting up my own Rocks or spin away these Rocks, whatever I choose to do. And like you can see, this turn I actually decide to get first my own Rocks. Don't want to spin right away. He might go into his Doublade, which is of course a bit risky, but then he could double out on the Reflected Earthquake and all this good stuff. I first want to get up my own Rocks before I start spinning all this stuff away, because I want to start checking on his team as well to get in the range for potentially my Lucario, because my Gator probably won't sweep with the Doublade around, so I have to put my axe on the Lucario basket for this team. I get a Rocks Up, he goes into his Ferrothorn, fearing the grass move. I switch right out into my Celebi's. Of course, he doesn't have the Latios. I didn't mention the Teambuilder, so Celebi's importance is not that high. His only special attackers are the Whimsicott and the Heatran. Heatran, of course, still does a lot with his fire moves, and Whimsicott can just U-turn out versus me. So the Assault Vest and Celebi generally is not that important. It still has very nice coverage for this team. I'm gonna predict the Heatran right here, but he stays in. Either way, I couldn't kill with HP Fire from full, so going for Earthquake was kind of a safe play. I actually get the Lucky Split Death Drop, which doesn't matter too much, but he reveals the knockoff, so he is prepared for my Celebi, gets rid of my Assault Vest, does a lot of damage to me, and my Celebi is low. I right here will fire off an Hidden Power Fire to kill this thing, or if he goes from Heatran, that happens, but he actually decided to go with Whimsicott, which takes rocks damage and a very nice amount from this Hidden Power Fire right here. He probably predicted me to go for another Earth Power or something like that, or just a middle ground play, because he doesn't need health on his Whimsicott, because it's so fast, and it doesn't need to take many hits. It basically will only hit, it will take is an Extreme from Lucario if it's into something. But yeah, I go once again into my Rotom, because even with Rock Stab, I'm like the perfect switch-in ever to this thing. Here he goes for U-turn, so yeah, that would have killed my Celebi. That was of course easy prediction right there. And he gets the momentum on me. I don't want to lose my Celebi yet. Like I said, it still has some very nice coverage for this team. And right here, he goes into his Diggersby, and that is great. He might not think that I'm faster than him, so I'm definitely going to fire off a Will-O-Wisp right here, burning this thing. An Overheat can kill from this range, and I decide to want to weaken this thing. I can guarantee to live a return from here or Frustration. He goes for the Frustration. I'm guaranteed to live that barn. He is like banned or something like that. But yeah, if he SPs me, he of course had to be Scarfed, so I was guaranteed to live that. There was no, I was basically guaranteed to get his Will-O-Wisp off barring he crits me. But like you can see here, he did not crit me, and I can get a nice burn on him right here, barring the part that I miss, and that sucks a lot because having a burn on the Diggersby would be great. Chipping it down and halving its attack would be awesome for the rest of my team. But yeah, and right here I know he's Scarfed because he outsped me, and I can keep my Rotom because either it's a Death Fodder or if I can spin the Hazard of Donphan, which shouldn't be that hard of a task. And I have a free switch into my Magenta right here because Frustration won't do a lot. Does after Spikes and Rocks I'm above half, so it does like 30%. And I can fire off an Aura Sphere here, trying to catch the incoming Ferrothorn or the Heatran. But like I can see, he decides to switch out into his Doublade. So I of course get no damage at all on this thing, which is sad. Thankfully I did not burn the Z move here. That would have been a bit bad if I wasted on a Ghost type. But yeah, right here I can once again switch out into my Donphan, taking any hit this thing wants to go, and potentially get an Earthquake or Spin Off if I want to be cheeky and predict the Doublade to switch out. And right here he actually will double once again, so my Donphan Doublade matchup will just not happen. I don't know why he fears me so much, but he actually switches into his Diggersby, which is great. I think he wanted to scout there for the Shadow Ball on my Magenta. So smart playing on his part, but I do not have the Shadow Ball, so nice that I got the matchup right here, because now I have the chance to spin. He goes for U-turn and gets some Rocky Helmet damage on himself, which is great. I did miss out on the burn, but I need some chip damage on this Diggersby because he is Scarf. He can 2-hit KO with return versus my Lucario, so I need to get him in range for an extreme speed from it. So chipping on the Diggersby is going to be very important because, like I said, I'm going to build for the Lucario speed, which is basically not that hard to do. The Whimsicott already has enough damage on him with the HP Fire and Rocks. I only need chipping away on the Diggersby more, because this thing dies to close combat, Heatran dies to close combat, and then the Doublade dies to Earthquake. So, I switch out right here, back out into my Celebi. I can take another knockoff from this thing, and I'm basically not worried what he wants to do. He does go for another knockoff, especially with Spike stacking. I can hit him off HP Fire, get some more damage on him, so that I potentially don't have to close combat on him, and I can just go for Earthquake to kill him, catching the Doublade, because if close combat and he goes into Doublade, he can pop my balloon with a Shadow Sneak. Right here, he reveals to be Ockerberry. I was already wondering what this item on the Seraphon could be. I was more thinking Rock Helmet, but then on my Rabbit Spin I did not have damage on him, so Barry was like the most likely option, and here I could confirm that Celebi going down was not that big. Right here, I can go into my Rotom, and I will just fire off an Overheat right here. He doesn't have a good switch into that, barring the Heatran, but if he goes from Heatran, I outspeed him, I can get a nice and juicy Pain Split going and get my Rotom back to good health, which is awesome. But like you can see, he does not do that. He just does sack his Ferrothorn, which is great. That thing is gone. Right here I get of course some Leftovers Carry, but now I am very low indeed, and he decides to go into his Diggersby once again, taunting me with that goddamn Burn Mist. Very unlucky on my part, but yeah, right here I want to sack something. My Magenta actually has a chance to be 2-hit KO'd by 2 Frustration, so I don't want to risk that. Of course, Frustration was a very easy prediction there, but yeah, I sack my Rotom Heat, and now I can go back into my Magenta. Because right here, what I want to do is double out into my Donphan, predicting the Doublade, which came in every time so far, or the one time versus my Magenta. And finally, I have the matchup I wanted. I have the matchup of Donphan versus Doublade, because, like I said, his team does not enjoy taking Earthquakes at all. The only thing which does take Earthquakes is the Whimsicott, which dies to Ice Shot, or the Hawlucha, which actually is the mon I want to bait out. Hawlucha is still a huge threat versus my team, and Donphan is only at half health. And like I can see, he does switch out, fearing the Earthquake, which I will be going right here, and he does go into the Hawlucha, one of the mons which I wanted to bait out, because Hawlucha was a very big threat, though that my Rotom is gone, and the Donphan is weakened. I can bait that out, kill that thing with 2 Ice Shots. He can't kill me with a High Jump Kick Baron, he's banded or Life Orb. That he can't kill High Jump Kick. I get some Ice Shot damage on him, I get some Rocky Helmet damage with High Jump Kick, and then he is in range of my Extreme Speed Lucario as well. I did forget to mention the Hawlucha needed to be weakened as well. But I can see here, he actually is not banded nor Life Orb, so I can kill him with my Donphan right here. I don't even need my Lucario to kill it. So, everything is going to plan right here for my Lucario sweep. The only thing I need is some more chip damage on the Digger Speed, because I didn't get the burn on him. That's why I will actually preserve my Donphan right here, because as long my Lucario still has his Air Balloon, he can't lock himself into Earthquake. He has to lock himself into a contact move, and once I get one more round of Rocky Helmet damage on him, he is in range of E-Speed. So that's why I'm going to preserve my Donphan right here, just to get this last chip damage on the Digger Speed. I right here decide to sack my Larias. HP Fire actually has a chance to kill him if he's standard Doublade, so I'm going for that. Shadow Sneak won't be able to kill him from this range, just south from this damage. And like you can see here, he's actually a max Bedef Doublade, or a near max Bedef at least. He's bulkier than just the max HP variant, that's what I want to say. He gets a crit for Shadow Claw actually, which did not matter too much. He needed to get the absolute lowest roll to not kill me, so I'm not too mad about that hex. More salty about the Will-O-Wisp. But yeah, now here I can go to my Magina and kill it with a Dazzling Gleam. He is in range for that. He goes for the Shadow Sneak actually right here, and that was a very surprising play on on Gator's part, at least from my view. Because let me pause it once the Doublade goes down to Dazzling Gleam, because let me pause it right here. I was debating a lot. Going for Trick Room right here, predicting him into to switch out or something like that, or me taking 2 hits, and basically because if I get a Trick Room up and the Doublade is so low, I basically sweep through his team. I kill the Doublade, I can see right here, and then I outspeed his whole team. He only has the Whimsicott left, which dies to Dazzling Gleam, he has the Heatran left, which dies to Phydium Z Aura Sphere, and he has the Digger Speed left, which dies to Aura Sphere as well. So if I would have gone for Trick Room right here, I actually would have won the game, but I was actually in range of 2 Iron Heads from the Doublade. So I did not want to risk that, but if I would have known he would Shadow Sneak, I could have actually won the game right here going for Trick Room. But yeah, the Trick Room button not being the nicest option for me right there, I decided to just go for Dazzling Gleam, but hindsight is always 20/20. Should have gone for that right here, but I did not expect Gator to choke the game like that away. And right here, speaking of choking, he goes into his Whimsicott, and I was very surprised by that. Because the one thing I want to do with my Magina right here is to bait out the Heatran or the Digger Speed. If he goes on the Heatran, he kills me with anything, I'm slower than him, and then I can go to my Lucario, basically click Earthquake, either kill the Whimsicott or get the nice damage I need on the Digger Speed. Because if he goes on the Digger Speed, I can just Earthquake and Ice Speed, he is dead. If he goes into Digger Speed to kill my Magiana, I can just hard switch into my Donphan and get the Rocky Helmet damage I need, and he is in range and Lucario sweeps. But he goes into the one mon, which doesn't really make sense, because what Whimsicott does with my Magiana is basically nothing. Like, even HP Fire I can take from this range, and I was very bamboozled by that play, so I was looking through everything Whimsicott could be doing. Could be going for momentum, could be going for maybe bringing in range so he can lock himself into return for Digger Speed, so my Lucario dies to 2 of them. Many options right here, and I was debating go for a Trick Room, but then there was just one thing in my head, okay, yeah, if I Trick Room, he just encores me into that, and that is bad. So I would right here just go for a Dazzling Gleam, trying to kill this Whimsicott, and he goes for the Tailwind, and that is bad, because I only have my Magiana left, I have my Lucario left, and I have my very weak Donphan left, and that means that this Heatran he is about to bring out has the potential to sweep through my team. If he is defensive, Flamethrower can't kill my Lucario, so he would have to have Fire Blast or be offensive. I already know that he's defensive, so right here I will see. Does he have Flamethrower? Does he have Fire Blast? He has the Fire Blast, goddammit, so that means my Lucario would actually die to this, but one thing I still can hope for is a Fire Blast miss. I missed the Will-O-Wisp versus the Digger Speed. It's actually the same chance as missing the Fire Blast. Can I get some justice? Can I get some justice from this Will-O-Wisp miss? I will talk about the miss more of the Willow, why it may matter more than you might think, but right here, go to my Lucario, this is my only chance. Does he miss the Fire Blast? Does he miss the Fire Blast? Can I kill Earthquake and sweep for his team? He goes for Fire Blast, and he hits. And that is basically GG, because he doesn't even have to go for Fire Blast I doubt he's mono Fire Blast attacking. He probably has one other move to go for. So yeah, my Donphan will actually die to this, to his coverage move, which is, like you can see right here, the Earthquake. So yeah, we take a 2-0. 2-0 loss to the Florida Gators in Gator, which is very, very disappointing, especially looking at the playoff rates. But let me talk more about the game once all the animations are gone. Frank dies right here. Going for Ice Shard was like, it's quad resistant. There was no need for Ice Shard. Now the hope was he chokes and goes for like another Earthquake, and then I can kill his DSB with Ice Shard. He goes for Fire Blast and misses, but yeah. Tough loss, and that loss was definitely on me. That was on me. Not like I said, the thought of going Trick Room from Margiana versus the Whimsicott was, should I go for Trick Room? I could win if I go for Trick Room right here, but then I thought, okay, he goes for Encore, and then I'm stuck in Trick Room. So that was literally all the thought I put into going for Trick Room this turn. If I would have been able to think about it more, if I would have had more time in the turn, like the timer for the turn was getting lower and lower, so I had to make a decision, because like I said, I was looking at what Whimsicott can do. I was making calcs, am I in range of return after he goes for like an HP Fire or something like that, or Moonblast, or Giga Drain. Does he want to just stun spore me, getting some Para Hex luckily versus me. So I had to make a decision. If I had an infinitive amount of time, is infinity a word? I don't know. Had more time for this turn, I probably would have clicked Trick Room. I can't tell that for sure, of course, because it's in the past, and past last is a dummy sometimes. But yeah, I choked this game away. That is on me. The Hex was still very annoying. I will tell you more why. This Will-O-Wisp does not only would have it weakened the Digger Speed, it would have gotten him in range of the Extreme Speed earlier. I just need one round of burn damage. One round of burn damage would have all I needed to get him in range of Extreme Speed. And that would have made me not sack my keep my Donphan and sack my Ladias, because I needed still my Donphan around to get the crucial chip damage, Rocky Helm chip damage on the Digger Speed to get him in range, because I could have potentially set up with Lucario, then I didn't need the chip damage, but I could not play for playing setup, because I can set up with the Doublade, that kills me with Sacred Sword or Shadow Sneak. I can set up on the Heat Train, that kills me with Fire Blast. I can set up on the Whimsicott, because that just encores me, and the only thing I could set up on was the Digger Speed, but like you can see, that never came out, so that was the only chance for me to set up, so I could not plan setting up and winning the game, so I needed this chip damage on the Digger Speed. If I would have had still Ladias around and just sacked the Donphan right here because the Digger Speed was burnt and I didn't need Donphan anymore, then he wouldn't be able to sweep me with the Heatran. Because I can see he had Rocks, he had Earthquake, he had Fire Blast. His last move could have been Toxic, but I definitely could have stalled out the Tailwind turns without a problem with the Ladias versus the Heatran, and then I would have won with my Lucario versus this team. So the Hex was unfortunate, but still I lost because I played. I choked the one turn. That's great. I played well the whole game, and then in one turn I gave the game away because he was the one Whimsicott set which could actually win him the game, and he did not miss Fire Blast. So yeah, that's how games sometimes end. Can only punch myself for that, and that means, like I already said in the team builder, that means it's not in my own hands anymore to make playoffs. I need other people to win or to lose, better said, his games. I need Gator to lose his next two games, and I need to win my next two games. Or I need George to lose his next two games, but one of that is, of course, versus me. Next week versus San Francisco Arcaninas, very tough matchup once again, because George is a great player. Not really team-wise. Team-wise, it's fine, but George is, of course, a great player. We already lost to him, so that's going to be a scary thing to do. But the scariest thing is, of course, that I can't make playoffs on my own anymore. I'm in the hands of fate, or better said, I'm in the hands of the coaches which face Gator and George, respectively. Oh, Mono. Mono could actually lose 2 times as well, but he would have to lose way more higher than George, I think, for me to still make playoffs. So yeah, I need them to lose, basically, to still make playoffs, and it's always tough if you have to rely on good coaches like Gator, like George and Mono to lose games, so yet you can make playoffs. Yeah, so that's a bit disappointing. But yeah, that's all for this game. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely check out Gator. His link will be in the description, so you can check out his channel. He was actually nice enough that we could postpone this upload because I was so crunched for time. And yeah, definitely give him a look. And yeah, that's all from me. I will see you next week versus George and the San Francisco Arcaninas. I hope you enjoyed. Ciao.